Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Veteran Entrepreneurship, how to get where you want to be. We're going to go live here in just a couple minutes, give people a chance to log on, and we'll get started. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Veteran Entrepreneurship, how to get where you want to be. We had such a great time last night talking with Ian Faison. We decided to do another broadcast live for the East Coast. So, good morning. And this morning we're going to be talking about veteran entrepreneurship and why veterans should get into entrepreneurship, what kind of business knowledge they need, funding, capital, things like that, and as well as why America needs veterans to start a business. With me, I have Ian Faison from Victory Media. He's a strategic business development manager. Ian, how you doing this morning?
I am doing good, Jamal. It's fun to be on here, and glad we could do it again. Yesterday was fun, but 7 o'clock Eastern might be a little late for folks yesterday. So glad we could do it again today.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you being with us this morning. So, Ian, in your opinion, why do you think veterans should be looking at starting their own businesses?
Yeah, so I think first off is we're good at it, right? So what I've seen through places like Novoba, which is the National Veteran-Owned Business Association, places like at Patriot Boot Camp or Bunker Labs, or these various kind of accelerators, incubators, membership organizations that have been popping up across the country over time, is that veterans are going into entrepreneurship now at a much smaller rate than they were in the past. So back in the 40s, after World War II, about 45% of people went into entrepreneurship, and now that number is a lot lower. It's between 6 and 9%, which is pretty crazy considering companies like Nike, FedEx, GoDaddy, were founded by vets. So I think the number one reason is that we're good at it. Yeah, I mean, we're good at this stuff. And if you look at how many companies are owned by veterans, and then how many companies like in the Fortune 500 have C-level executives that are vets, we're really good at this stuff, and we're really well adapted to it from our skills. So it's kind of crazy that so few folks now are going into it, and it's a concern that hopefully things like this and a lot of the other things and initiatives going on, we can start righting the ship.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and just touching on what you said, I read a great stat last week. It said since 2007, women-owned veteran businesses have grown 295%. And same thing, minority businesses owned by veterans have grown more than 50%. I think it's just amazing to see some of the things that veterans are doing to grow their own business. And for me, I think it was a lot about kind of wanting to pursue my own dreams. I spent 12 years in the military. I'm actually still, part of the reserves, but I wanted to, I spent so much time kind of, working for the mission, doing everything I could for the mission, that I kind of felt like it was time to pursue my own dreams and kind of, doing what I wanted to do with my time, spending time with my family, things like that. So, with so many veteran businesses growing so fast, I think one of the common misconceptions is that you got to have a lot of money. So, can you talk to me about, different different funding things like that? How much money does a veteran really need to start up a business?
Yeah, what's interesting is now more than ever in history, it is easier to start a business, and specifically, it's easier to start a business from scratch. So, which is pretty amazing. And to even take a further step back, before you decide how much money you need to start your venture, you need to look at what kind of thing you want to do, right? So,
Right,
if you look at those businesses in a few different groups, like, I want to start something, a business on the side. Like, I have a hobby that I really enjoy doing. Like, I like making, small wooden sailboats. And I want to make one of those a month, and I want to sell it online on Etsy.com or Fiverr or something like that. You can do that. You can do it for essentially free. All you need to do is set up a profile. If you want to go into like a cash flow business where, you're starting something that you want to start on the side while you're doing your 9 to 5 job, and you want to start a business that can, start getting you incremental revenue that can, make your life, more sustainable or more happy, or make more money for your family. Or maybe it starts off, all you want to do is make $500 more a month, and starting something like that. Even that, I mean, buying a website or setting that up on somewhere like GoDaddy or Wix or something, you can do that for so cheap now. You can buy the domain, set it all up for under $50, and get off the ground and start doing that. I think
wow.
the key though is finding what you want to do with that and what type of business you want. Now, if you want to grow like a large, scalable startup, you want to build a team, you want to be pitching investors, you want to like look at seed capital and all that. It's a much different route, but you can still do it extremely lean. You just kind of need to know the steps and resources required to do that.
And that's a great point. I think, so many people, and that's kind of when I thought about entrepreneurship, I thought it meant going out and getting $200,000 and trying to launch a McDonald's or trying to launch a franchise of some sort. And there's so many different avenues that people can pursue for entrepreneurship. And like you said, I think if someone likes to make music, or if someone likes to make chairs, do what you love doing and do it, on your own time. So, with that, I think that, another misconception is that you got to be a business expert to start a business. So, what do you think? When I went through transition, I remember we went through things like boots to business and franchising and things like that, where we could learn basic business skills. What do you think are some other resources that veterans have to tap into that they can add to their business knowledge if they want to start their own business?
Yeah, well, the best part is that nobody from the military that gets out is ever been an expert at business, because none of us have ever done it before, right?
Right,
So it's
right.
like there are no entrepreneurs in the military, right? Like they might live there, but they don't perform those duties in the military. And traditionally we don't make stuff, we break it, right? So you're talking about populations of people that started from zero. Like maybe they got an undergrad, or maybe they went to community college and took some business classes. But by and large, you're starting from the exact same point that, Fred Smith, who started FedEx, started from. It's the exact same level that you started. It's just now there's all these like resources and opportunities out there that you can access for free. And I think that that's what's so amazing right now is, you can go read, 6 books on business. You can read 0 to 1. You can read Lean Startup. You can read, Team of Teams. You can read, Innovator's Dilemma and Hard Thing About Hard Things. And you can start there. You can go read all those books and start learning the language and start learning, how to speak the language.
Right.
But that's if you want to build like a large scalable business. But I think that for other resources out there, there's, things like Patriot Boot Camp, which is fantastic. And I just went to the one in June in Austin, Texas.
Right. Great resource.
Yeah, there's Vets in Tech, there's Vet Tech Trek, there's a lot of groups that are in and around specifically technology and innovation. There are things like Vet to CEO does a digital program. There's a really good program called American Dream U, where they offer resources for free on entrepreneurship as you're getting out. And these are separate from the government sponsored stuff like Boots of Business. So I think that there are a ton of opportunities out there if you go and find them, and you go and look for them. And that's just for veterans, and not to mention the entire plethora of resources that are out there for entrepreneurs in general. Like one of them is called YouTube, and you can just sit there and cruise around on YouTube. But I think like getting some of the structure of like taking a step back and saying, what do I personally want for my career? What do I want for my life? Again, if your goal is making $500 more a month, and that's it, and you want to create a business that can give you that financial flexibility, that's very doable. You could do voiceover recordings, on Fiverr.com. There are so many opportunities for that. But if you want to build a large scalable business, there's also a ton of opportunities. The vast majority are free for you to leverage.
Wow, and that's a great point. One of the things I was reading a couple days ago was it said veterans are at least 45% more likely than those with no active duty military experience to be self-employed, and I think it really kind of got me thinking about how veterans have so many skills that you get through military service, that really, I feel like, make entrepreneurship or self-employment a great option. So can you talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you see in your experience that make veterans a great option for entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think that we always talk about like hard work and determination and a lot of that sort of stuff. And that is all definitely true. I think the number one thing is perspective. I think that we have a worldly perspective and integrity and willingness to serve that I think is so uniquely skilled when it comes to entrepreneurship. Especially things like taking care of customers, looking at things from a larger perspective, looking at things from a social perspective, and trying to create something amazing that can help a lot of people. Like that is what we were built to do, and we understand other cultures. And I think that when you have that perspective and you've been other places and you can take a step back, and you're not going to get freaked out and stressed about having to work a long day or something like that, or that the fact that you have 3 meals and a place to stay at the end of the day, it is something that I think other people, or maybe even all of us in the military community, take for granted a little bit when we look at career fields, right? We just don't realize the things that we've kind of done, and you want to have that impact and meaning with your life. So you look at entrepreneurs, by and large, who are extremely mission driven, who are really good leaders, who have compassion and can look at, solving their customers' problems. Like that is a vet. Like if you were to tailor make a person in a laboratory to be an entrepreneur, who is mission driven, a leader, and works really hard to make their customers happier, to make people happy, that is a vet, right? So I think uniquely skilled definitely to do that.
Wow, and yeah, I think you're exactly right. And just looking at some of the numbers, I think the numbers speak for themselves. Some of the states that are really just at the top of the list with veteran-owned businesses. I mean, your state in particular, number one on the list with almost 300,000 veteran-owned businesses. Texas coming in with close to 250,000. So I think that the numbers speak for themselves, and veterans are doing so many things to really get out there and really change the face of America and the business world. So definitely, it's a great resource. I definitely want to take the time to invite everyone to connect with me and Ian. LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. I've got my website listed and our email addresses. Just if there's any questions, anything that we can help answer or guide you to, definitely we want to take the time to be able to help veterans get down the road that they want to get down. So Ian, I'd love to take a couple minutes just to ask you a few questions and just get a little insight into some of the things that veterans might be asking about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and I'll say too, definitely reach out and contact me. Shoot me a note on Twitter or whatever. I can tell you I am not an expert at all things entrepreneur, but I know a lot of experts in various different fields. So a lot of C-level executives or people who mentor startups, or people who can consult with startups, or people who can just kind of like maybe give you a kick in the ass to get you started. So there's a lot of people out there and a lot of resources. And if you shoot me a note saying, hey, I want to do this, I can point you in the right direction. If you already own a business too, definitely go to Novoba.com and sign up to be a member of Novoba. It's a great organization that helps veteran-owned businesses, and you can get your business listed for free on buyveteran.com.
Awesome. Great resources. And, I think that's one of the most important things is, like you said earlier, I mean, none of us is really an expert, but being able to connect to the experts and connect to the people that can get you the information that you need, I think is amazing. So first thing, what do you think is one of the most important things a veteran listening to this could do to get started?
Yeah, I think you should start, if you don't know anything, right? If you know absolutely nothing about, you're still in the service and you're sitting there and you're like, hey, maybe I'd like to work for myself, or maybe I have an idea for a business. The first thing that I would do is go out and start reading some books and start learning some information, because you have to know the language. You have to know the words that people are using. And so I'd really recommend reading 0 to 1 and Lean Startup. Those are two amazing books that if you start there, you can't go wrong. And then step 2 is start finding some local veteran events that are in and around entrepreneurship, or just entrepreneurship events. So something like a Vets in Tech, or something like a Bunker Labs event or something, and just start being around the ecosystem and start asking veteran entrepreneurs if you can help them, right? Helping them might be holding a camera and helping them shoot a little promo video. Helping them might be, looking at, a piece of email and seeing if you can provide them with feedback on that. You'd be amazed at how much you can help if you just start asking people. And start building your network that way, and being, you want to be seen as the guy or girl that is super helpful, and that'll pay huge dividends when you do start your business and are looking for help yourself.
Wow, and that's such a great point, because I think so many, especially veterans that launch a business by themselves, there's so many extra hands that you could use. I've got a good friend of mine that just started a fitness app called UTest. Great fitness app. But maybe for something like that, maybe one of the things that they need is people to get into the app and people to post in the app, to make it credible. So that's a great point. So another question I got for you, and you kind of touched on it, but are there any seminars or training resources that you recommend that someone can start to subscribe to, or start to attend to beef up their knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd say start at the top, right? So go and reach out, meaning go to their websites and start looking at things, but go to the best of the best, right? If you want to learn about marketing, go check out Gary Vaynerchuk. If you want to, if you want to learn about, whatever the topic of the day is. If you want to learn about, building your business lean or customer development, for example, go to Steve Blank's course on Udacity.com. His lean entrepreneur course, which is free on Udacity. So it's kind of like, if you want to learn these things, the experts are out there. You can go follow them on Twitter. You can go learn their information. 20, 30 years ago, that you had to read op-eds and magazines or newspapers or something like that, but we can follow all of our heroes online now and learn their daily thoughts. So go do that. And I think that that's a really easy, digestible way of starting to learn this enormous world that is, can be a little challenging with the amount of information that you can have there. But if you start going through that, you start, going to a place like the Steve Blank Udacity course, or, like following Eric Ries live on Twitter, or something like that. And you just start listening to the things that you're doing. And every time they say something you don't understand, you go look it up. It's a pretty easy starting point, and you'll get there pretty fast.
Wow. Yeah. Great points. Great points. And I appreciate that. So real quick before we wrap up, I want to do a little rapid fire Q&A. So
Fire away.
I'll ask you a question, and you just let me know what you think. So, best business you've seen pitched this year?
Okay, so the winner of the Patriot Boot Camp in June was this guy Marcus. His company is called vThreat. It is a cybersecurity software as a service company. He's like super genius NSA hacker guy. Actually, yeah, Marcus.
I've heard of Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy smart dude. He won the PBC contest, and he was a semifinalist 1776. The dude is a genius. His product is really, really good, and it's going to make a lot of money. And so that was, and honestly, all of the entire pitch contest at PBC was really incredible. Things like, cloud-based integrations for kids using toys, a 4G rugged hotspot, advanced information on how to get VA loans. I mean, some seriously smart, innovative stuff that was going on there. So that's probably the best one.
Okay. Smartest way you've seen a veteran start a company?
Yeah, so a lot of vets are bootstrapping their businesses for sure, with $0 invested. But I was just talking to an entrepreneur last night who got a $20,000 check from an investor he'd never met based off of an article that was written on him by somebody else. So he started a business from scratch, $0 invested out of his pocket. And his friend wrote an article about his military experience and how he's translating that into the civilian world to build this company. An investor saw it, read the article, was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you," and without ever meeting the guy, wrote him a $20,000 check. So it's pretty good.
Wow. Okay. And flip side, dumbest way you've seen a veteran start a company?
Oh man, this is good. We're real good at being dumb when we pitch stuff, because we're hard headed, and we love to pitch our ideas even that when they're not already kind of ready to go, which is kind of a blessing and a curse. We were at a pitch contest with a large group of very, very, very well-known venture capitalists that are dealing in the billions of dollars. And I saw somebody pitch essentially a software beverage drink cart, which was a single owned and operated drink cart. So not exactly a lot of upside to that for investors, but hey, great business for that person if they want to make money on the side, but probably not something you should be pitching $1 billion investors.
All right. Great point. Who's one of the greatest people that you feel like you've connected to in your journey?
Ooh, that's a great one too. Man, there's so many. I would say, gosh, there are a ton. I was just at an event last night at GrowthX Academy, and they're just in top of mind. So I'll give a shout out to those folks, but they're doing really, really good work, specifically, for vets, only because they saw vets go through their program and they did so well. They're like, man, we need more of these. But really cool to know that those the three founders there, and Will Bunker was the founder of Match.com, not a vet, but just a really cool guy, and their team is building. They built an academy for sales, marketing, and user experience, which is like perfectly tailored to what vets need, because learning how to generate revenue is the thing that vets need to learn the most in business, in my opinion. So super cool meeting him last night, and that was cool to hang out with those folks, and they're rocking it, and they have a venture fund attached to it. So anytime you can put vets near generating revenue, it turns out we do really, really well.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, hold on. I gotta say, I did get to sit down and interview former chief of staff of the Army. So anytime you get to do that, it's pretty cool too. Talking about entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Wow. And last but not least, who's got the better season this year, Raiders or Broncos?
Oh, Raiders. So we're gonna crush them. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they even stand a chance this year with the garbage they have at quarterback. So it's all good. And Osweiler is terrible too, but he's Derek Carr. Here we go. Mari Cooper. Get used to it. ACDC.
There you go. All right. There you have it, folks. Again, I invite you to connect with us on social media. Shoot us an email. Like Ian said, reach out to those veteran organizations, those business organizations that can really get you the help that you need. And we appreciate you jumping on, Ian. As always, I appreciate you jumping on. I know it's early out there on the West Coast, but we appreciate your knowledge. We appreciate your experiences. And anything you want to add for us?
No, you're the man, Jamal, and feel free, if you have any questions, reach out and I can point you to the right place of people who know what they're doing.
All right, thank you. So that will conclude our webinar this morning on veteran entrepreneurship, how to get where you want to be. Thanks. Have a great day and reach out to us.
Take care.
Take care, Ian.